Mr. Transformers 96 here for the video where I'm going to do an update on my Hot Toys pre-orders. So I do this every now and then. Essentially, I break down the Hot Toys that are on pre-order that I'm interested in and kind of break it into categories. The ones that I have officially pre-ordered, the ones that I'm thinking about pre-ordering, and then the ones that I want but at the moment probably not going to get. So like I mentioned, I do this pretty often, at least a couple times a year, just to give you an update on kind of where I stand on the current Hot Toys pre-orders. I am a bit sick right now, so if I sound a little nasally, a little different, I do apologize. But let's get started. I think the last time I did this wasn't that long ago. It was a little quicker getting an update than usual even. But there's been quite a few new figures shown, and there's just been some changes in my preferences. Just for instance, because although showing this is my thoughts right now, things can always change. Because, for instance, my most recent Hot Toy that I purchased just this week. It was one that's been on pre-order and just came out this week. And in my last video, I didn't even include it anywhere on the list, not even in the want but probably won't get or anything like that. So every now and then, I just end up getting a Hot Toy that I didn't even think about getting before. But it's IG-11. I purchased him, and that was one that, although it came out, when it went on pre-order, it looked cool, and I, enjoyed to look at the pictures. It wasn't super in my radar of, I think I might actually get that, but I decided to by the time that it came out. So this can always change. It's always malleable, but we have some nice looking figures that are up right now, and plenty more to come. So let's get started. Starting off with the ones that I physically have on pre-order, and this list, or this section, has grown. So the last time I did this, I had 5 figures, and this has grown to 8. So the ones that have on here that I had before: Mysterio, the Marvel Trinity, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, and Scarlet Witch. Since then, I've added 3 more. Taskmaster, and no spoilers for Taskmaster or Black Widow or anything like this in this video, but personally I am a big Marvel Villains fan, so as soon as Taskmaster went up for pre-order, I knew it was one that I had to get, just because I'm such a big fan of Marvel Villains. I really don't let any pass me up. Although there is a figure on this list that is questionable if it's a Marvel villain, and that's why I'm questioning whether I should get it or not. But nonetheless, Taskmaster is certainly on the list. Then we have a Shore Trooper. This is one that, when it was up for pre-order for Rogue One, I passed up and have always regretted it. So as soon as we got the 2 new versions that they put on for pre-order, I knew I definitely had to get one, because I wasn't going to have the same mistake happen twice. But I've been debating on which Shore Trooper to get, and I went back and forth for a long time. I ended up going with the standard, just the kind of trooper, and not the commander or the squad leader. I can't remember what it's called. I think commander. And that was a hard decision, because there was really benefits to both of them, and it took me a long time to decide, but I decided on the standard, and I'm pretty happy with that. I like the trooper look quite a bit. I like the armor pieces down at the thighs. I also think that the line work is a lot stronger on the regular Trooper version, which is something I really enjoy. And then lastly, it's Venom. This is one that I love Venom, but the rubber has really frightened me about that figure. Having so much rubber, and rubber knees and arms and elbows and everything like that, I've been worried about how durable that figure is going to be. But I decided, I'm a big Venom fan. The figure looks great, and it's worth the risk for me. And if there's any chance that they're going to do Carnage, I need the Venom. So I did order that one, and I'm pretty excited about that one. Definitely a very unique figure. So as you can see, my pre-order list is heavily Marvel, but there's a bit of Sony Marvel, and then there's also some Star Wars on there as well. Now, moving on to the ones that I'm thinking about, but I haven't physically pre-ordered yet. We've got a array here. It's mainly Marvel, but a bit Star Wars. So the 2 armored characters on the left side, both from Iron Man 2. We've got the Mark V and War Machine. These are armors that I've always wanted. The Mark V I've always wanted, and this is the 3rd version that they're doing. So I let the other 2 pass me up, and I don't know what I'm going to do about this one, because I love the armor, and I think the figure looks great, but because it's die-cast, it's pretty pricey, and I have so many other armors that I feel like it's probably not worth getting this, because it's the same type of thing, but I love the design. So I'm really going back and forth on it. I'm not sure. Same type of thing with War Machine. I really like the Mark I War Machine look. I think it looks fantastic. It when this was on pre-order, it was also on pre-order the same time that the Civil War one was a while back, and I debated which one to get for the longest time. I ended up going with the Civil War one, and I enjoyed that one, but I did pretty fast regret that choice. I always knew that I made the wrong choice, and a while ago I ended up selling the Civil War one. So to get the Iron Man 2 one back would be very cool. But again, I'm in the same boat where I don't know how many Iron Man armors I need, and because it's die-cast, it's very pricey. Then we have Boba Fett in the middle. There's like 4 different versions of Boba Fett. There's standard, there's a deluxe one that comes with an extra person, there's the standard of the clean one, there's a version with the throne. So I'm all over what Boba Fett or which Boba Fetts to get. I haven't quite made my decision yet. I will be getting a Boba Fett though. That is definitely for sure. I think that I've come to the determination that the clean Boba Fett with the throne is the one for me, but haven't made that decision quite yet, nor have I pulled the trigger on a pre-order. So for right now, just still kind of looking at the options there and deciding. Then we've got some Disney Plus figures. Falcon in his Captain America look. This is one that I definitely want to get because it's, I think, going forward, it's going to be a very iconic look for this character. I worry that he might have a slightly tweaked and better version of this costume later on from maybe a solo movie or something like that. So that worries me that this might not be the best version to get. But for right now, I do think that it looks quite incredible, and I definitely plan. I would say that I'm gonna. Here's the thing: whenever I decide which figure I'm gonna pre-order, Falcon has been a high contender on that list for a while now with my last couple pre-orders. And although I think that I've determined logically that it's the best one to get, it does lack a little bit of an excitement for me, and I'm not sure why, because it's very unique. But I mean, I do have a bunch of Captain America figures, and I even have a Falcon figure too. So maybe that's why it's a little bit of the Iron Man situation, where it's something that I know I want, but it lacks a little excitement, as compared to like the last couple of things that I've pre-ordered. So it's kind of caused me to stall pre-ordering him, but I do think that I will eventually do so. And then we have White Vision from WandaVision. This was the character that I was saying is one that can be seen as a villain, but it can also not be. Obviously, in the episode that he was featured, he was a villain. However, the conclusion of his story in the episode is that he gets his memories back, and he no longer is a villain, and who knows. So, next time we see Vision, who knows if he's still even going to be white. I would imagine that he'll have some color on him. Maybe not as colorful as usual, but I doubt that he'll just be white for the whole next time that we see him. So this white version could stand in as just like a villain Vision, which is kind of neat. But again, it's hard for me to display him just completely in the Marvel Villain collection, so I'm a little iffy on it. I think that it looks like a nice figure, though. I like the beam that comes out of his forehead, that accessory. That's something that I've wanted a Vision figure to come with since we first met Vision for Age of Ultron, and have always been disappointed that they've never done. Really, no toy company's done it, and it's something that that's his kind of signature thing, so I really have always wanted them to do it. So very happy that they've done it here. And it does look like a very good figure. And, I had the Age of Ultron Vision. I enjoyed it for a while, but I did end up selling it. I felt like it wasn't a character that I really needed. After the WandaVision show, though, you started to like Vision even more, though. So part of me does want a Vision. And that's where we come to our last section here. The ones that I want, but I don't think I'm going to get, at least right now. And we have Vision there. So as you can see, the regular Vision is one that I have on here. It makes me a little... I feel weird about the fact that I had that Vision, I sold it, and now we have a new version that is, I know it's different, but it looks very similar. The face sculpt looks exactly the same. The tone on the suit, the green, is a little darker, but other than that, it really looks like the version that I've had previously, so it makes me feel weird that I'm kind of almost interested in getting that one again, even though I've parted with the original. So don't know if I necessarily need it. If I had the White Vision, this one would be a great one to go with it, but again, I'd probably display them separately because hero and villain. So nonetheless, though, it is something that intrigues me, so I am considering it. Then we have a couple Mandalorian figures. The Dark Trooper with Moff Gideon. the Dark Trooper is one that I really do want. I think that it's one of those figures that if I had to guess, I would guess that once that sells out, it's going to go up in price over the years. Similar to the Death Trooper and the Shore Trooper. I think that's going to be kind of a silent hit after it's gone. So part of me wants to get it so I don't, have the same type of mistake where, because both the Death Trooper, the Shore Trooper, and the Praetorian Guards, those are all kind of Trooper style or Star Wars characters that I passed on, and seriously regretted it because by the time that I really knew I wanted it, they had gone way up in price. So I'm worried about that happening with the Dark Trooper. My issue though is I feel like I would need Moff Gideon to get the Dark Trooper. Collection and display wise, I don't know where I'd put it if I didn't have Moff Gideon. So that makes it almost like I'm kind of forced to buy another figure that I do want, but I don't know if I need that other figure for sure. Then we have Ahsoka. Ahsoka looks nice. I'm not a fan of the rubber arms, though, the rubber shoulders, and I think that we'll probably get a better version of her for her show, so I've just kind of decided at this point, because, last time I did this video, she was higher. She was in the thinking about. Now I've dropped her down to the want, but probably won't get, because I think I'm going to hold out until her show comes around, and maybe get that version. I think that version might be improved. And then the last one, we have the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. This is one that I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get, and I can almost guarantee you as soon as the Suicide Squad, or did I say Suicide Squad? The Birds of Prey Harley Quinn, and I can almost guarantee you that once the Suicide Squad 2 or the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn is shown, I would imagine that my interest will go over to that one and no longer be on this one. So I think that by the next time I do this update, she probably won't be here, but I do still like the costume. I think is interesting, even though the face sculpt I'm not too keen on. But there you go. This is my list here of the Hot Toys that I want but probably won't get, the Hot Toys that I'm thinking about, the Hot Toys that I have locked in place and I've pre-ordered, and there you go. There's my list. So again, if you compare this to the last video, some things have changed position, some things have been completely dropped off, and then some things have been added because they've been shown since my last one, or just in general, they've kind of hit my radar and I'm more interested in them now than last. So there you go. That's my thoughts on the new Hot Toys on pre-order. Very excited for a lot of these figures. Can't wait to see some new ones. At the time of filming this, Hot Toys is preparing for an event where they're going to show some new figures, and a couple of images of them setting up have been leaked, like the Red Guardian, things like that. So, by the time I post this, that's probably going to be done with. But I am very excited to see what Hot Toys figures are coming up soon, and I can't wait to get some more on pre-order here and do another update in the future. But there you go. That's my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of kind of my choices and what I'm into Hot Toys pre-order wise, and I'd love to hear yours as well. And thanks so much for watching.